Welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. My name is Sophie. I am a manifesting generator 1-3, and I'm super passionate about a lot of things. I love fashion, branding, human design, healing, channeled content, jinkies, and everything business and mindset related. I called this podcast show The Chosen One for a reason because I truly believe that as MGs, we are here to challenge the world to do things differently, more non-linear and with lots of playfulness. So if you are an MG like me or you like my MG energy, you are here at the right place to learn exactly how to live a MG life with zero limits.
You are the chosen one.
Okay, loves. So this morning I recorded a very cool live Q&A about how to run a business with zero limits as an MG. And it turned out to be a pretty cool Q&A. I love doing it. I had so much fun. And I thought it would be cool to share it as a podcast episode as well. I think it's going to be super, super valuable for all my MG sisters. But also if you're not an MG, if you're a generator or a reflector or any other type, manifester or projector, you are gonna love it because the energy is tangible. You can feel the energy, and there will be so many valuable tips inside this episode. So I hope you enjoy. If you are an MG and you are wanting to work with me, or you are listening to this episode and you're like, oh my god, this sounds so cool, I do want to learn how to run a business with zero limits as an MG, how to really become unapologetically myself, how to sort of screw all the rules and really do it your way, then make sure to sign up for the webinar this Monday. This Monday, I'm going to give the last webinar for this course to join. It's the last time you can actually step in. So I will link the bio to the webinar in the description, and it's called How to Live an MG Life with Zero Limits. So make sure to sign up for that webinar, and I promise you, you are gonna love it. I do this really cool experiment in this webinar where with a jar and a lid. So if you sign up, make sure to bring a jar and a lid to the webinar. And I got so much cool feedback on the last webinar I gave, because I gave the same webinar last Friday, and I got so many reactions, and people were like, oh my god, I finally feel permission to be my full MG self, and I realize now that I don't have to adjust. And sort of like I gave them the permission to fully be who they are designed to be. And that is so powerful. Sometimes you just need a cheerleader or somebody to give us permission to really go all in. And this is your green light. Go all in, whatever type you have. And especially for the manifesting generators, make sure to tune into your sacral area and feel if you feel a hell yes to me. And if you do, then sign up for the webinar. Last chance to join this amazing new 6 weeks course that I have. And if you are interested about the course and you want to know more about it, make sure to follow me on Instagram, because I will be sharing more in-depth info about the course there. I don't do sales pages, as you know by now, but if you check my Instagram and if you are on my email list, I will send you more information about the course the upcoming days. But make sure to sign up for the webinar if you are even thinking about joining, because for now that's the only way to actually join the course, if you first join the webinar. Okay, love you guys and enjoy this really high vibe, and not even only high vibe, it's like super valuable super valuable Q&A session. Enjoy. I think we started, right? Can you hear me nice and clear? I guess you can, hopefully. Okay, I see we have some viewers live, which is great. There weren't so many signups lives, but I did receive a lot of questions up front. So I think it's very interesting to actually go through all the questions and help you amazing women to live a life with zero limits and to run a very successful business as an MG. So the beautiful souls who are present right now, can you type for me why you are here and what it is that you're hoping to learn today? And I see some of you are already my clients, which is amazing. Else, she signed up for the new course, and Angela is one of my clients as well. Lisette is not yet a client. Maybe you will be after this live. So just let me know what made you sign up for this webinar today. What specifics are you looking for, so I can actually help you create that. Okay, I'm here for your transmission, Sophie. I already feel the impact of entering your field, which is amazing, Els. Thank you so much. That is actually the power of working with me. You enter my field and energy gets, yeah, it doesn't actually even matter what I tell you. It's just like the energy you can actually, you can ride on. It's amazing. Right after I signed up for the course, I felt the transmission. That is so cool. It's so cool that you mentioned that, Els, because I feel like a lot of the time just entering my portals and making the payment, sometimes that is like the major breakthrough for a lot of women. And then, of course, after that, they learn a lot of interesting things. But really making that decision and sort of like saying, okay, I'm worth it. And I now claim my MGness and I now allow myself to fully step into my light. And this is what I give to myself. It's a gift to myself. And that's so powerful to claim that, even though if our mind tells us it's not the right time, or we don't have the money, or we don't know exactly what it's going to give us, just like trusting that inner feeling and going for it is so extremely powerful. So congratulations on giving yourself this amazing gift, because it is an amazing gift. Okay, loves. If you have any specific questions, please share them in the chat, and I will also go through all the questions I received in a previous webinar, so I can answer those questions for you as well. I think I'm sort of targeting to make this a 30-minute live, so we can keep it nice and short, but with lots of high energy. Okay, here we go. First of all, what I really noticed in my last webinar, I'm hosting a new webinar this Monday, by the way. But in the last webinar, what really stood out for me is that a lot of my sisters, a lot of my MG sisters are sort of like struggling with creating offerings and really putting themselves out there and having that bigger vision of like, they know where they want to go, but like the details, that's really difficult for us as MGs. And how many of you can relate that as soon as you start zooming in on the details, you get sort of stuck in your mind, or like overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I can't figure it out. Well, that's absolutely been my MG journey. And I found a way to really work around it and see it as a gift instead of as a burden. Okay, so I'll explain a little bit to you guys how I now manage my business. So you have me, I'm the MG, and I know what my superpower is. I'm very, very good at creating or channeling content. And I'm guessing that most of you are very well at that as well. I mean, once you have somebody in front of you, you probably, just like me, are very good at tuning into their energy and feeling like, what is it that this client needs? And then you get the inspiration going, right? So if I put a client in front of you, your ideal client, you'll be like, yes, I know what to do. I know how to take you from A to B. But when I'm asking you to create something for a group of people that you don't know, you probably go blank. Does anybody here relate to that? Because that's what happens to a lot of MGs. We get overwhelmed once we have a blank slate, so to speak, okay? So what we need to do is we need to understand how to create offerings in a responsive
manner. And the way I actually do that, like I said, I have me and then I have a team, but I haven't always had a team. I have recently added team members to my business. And this is something I also teach you in my bigger programs. I have a very big program, which is called the MG branding portal, which is a very large portal where I do the photo shoot and where I do all kinds of things. And that's where I also actually introduce you to how to work with a team. We will talk about it a little bit as well in the 6 weeks course, so don't worry about that. But what I've noticed is I have my superpower, okay? And I need to do where I'm very good at channeling content, like showing up in these lives, doing my thing. And I need somebody else to hold the vision for you. So when clients work with me one-on-one or in like my larger portals, I hold the vision for them, which is very important for us as MG, that we have somebody holding the vision for us, because we are so creative and we have so many ideas and we get so lit up by so many things that we might say on Tuesday, okay, this is my goal for this week. And then by Friday, we already forgot about it. And we're like, even if we remind ourselves of the goal, we are like, yeah, but I'm not feeling it anymore. Okay. So that is really our MG conditioning, which is keeping us small, because we can focus so well. We are keeping ourselves smaller than we are meant to be, because we are really here to change the world. We are really here to help people step out of the box and create amazing things. Okay. So it's very important to understand that you need somebody to hold the vision for you. It is crucial that you have somebody to hold the vision for you. And if you are at the beginning of your business and you can't afford anybody, well, first of all, I would highly recommend you viewing yourself as a very serious entrepreneur and find ways to get money for a good coach. But if you can't, ask your mother, for example, maybe your mother or a friend that really, really helps you to hold the vision for you. You do need to be very specific with who you give this task to, because it has to be somebody who empowers you, and it has to be somebody who respects your MGness. So the person I have to hold the vision for me, she helps me set the vision, but I am an MG. So I'm going to do my own thing, but her vision helps me respond. So whenever she says, okay, so we're going to do 3 reels this week and we're going to do a carousel, these are the topics, then I have something to respond to. Can you guys sort of follow what I'm getting at? We need somebody to say, this is what you're going to create, this is the topic, and then we respond to the topic. Once we have something to respond to, we can easily create. But we cannot sit at a desk and say, okay, let's create something without anything to respond to. Okay, so that's a very, very important thing to realize. And let me know if this makes sense to you guys, if you can sort of understand what I'm saying. Xenia, I hope I pronounce your name in the right way. Welcome. I'm trying to explain here how to use the responsive strategy into your business. Please let me know if it relates to you and if you understand it, because if you don't understand it, I'm going to try to explain it more vivid. Okay. Does the person hold the vision, or is it more they propose a plan in alignment to your vision? Yes, it's both. Okay, so what I believe is that as MGs, we don't need somebody to tell us what to do, because we do have a vision. We know where we want to go, and we are sort of one of a kind, and we're I don't know the right word in English. We call it eigenwijs in Dutch. So we want to do it our own way, and we get a little bit like we get annoyed as well when somebody's trying to say that we have to do something that doesn't resonate with us. So how I have my team member do it for me is I create art. So my piece of art, for example, is podcasting or creating these webinars. I just love showing up for live people and telling my story. What we then do is we go back to the live. So for example, we're recording this live right now, after I record this live, I will send it to my team member. She will listen to it. And what she then does is she listens to it and she picks out all the nuggets, okay, all the golden nuggets. She picks them out and then she puts it in Asana for me. And then she says, okay, this topic you mentioned that was spot on, make a beautiful reel about that, or make a beautiful carousel about that. And sometimes she even puts example carousels or example reels there, so I can actually sort of see what she's getting at. And then I can use my responsive strategy to feel, hey, does this align to me or not? But it's always my way in. And a lot of the times I create the most amazing reels with the highest views when I do it in a responsive manner. When I don't do it in a responsive manner, I notice my views and my interaction is way lower than when I do it from a responsive strategy. So does this sort of help you understand what I mean when I'm talking about responsive? Hi, Caroline. Nice for you to join as well. Because it's almost, yeah, it's a little bit of a difficult topic to explain. And that's why I love my 6 weeks program so much, which starts this next Tuesday, because I can explain it like until the end of the days. But what I really want you to, I want you to experience it. So that's why I want you to work with me for 6 weeks in the portal, because I can then actually make you experience how it is to live a life and run a business from a responsive strategy. Okay. But I'm pretty sure this information will already help you understand it a little bit, because your mind does have to sort of comprehend it. But I really want you to experience it. And for those of you who are already in my portals, you will definitely start experiencing it for yourself. Okay. Okay, let me see. Any questions around this? Otherwise, I will just continue. So, creating offerings from a blank stage is not a good thing. You always want to create offerings in response. So I did a course the other day where they were explaining things more in depth about responsive strategy, because I'm a 1-3. I don't know what your energy type is. If you want to share it in the chat, please feel free to share. I'm a 1-3, and the 1 in me, 5-1. Oh, that's so cool. I have a lot of 5-1s as clients. That's interesting. Dominique, I believe, was a 5-1. Angela, present here, is a 5-1, if I remember correctly. So I have a lot of 5-1s. The 1, so you're 1 as well. I'm a 1 as well. 1s are the investigators, right? And what that means is that I love diving deep into to information. I want to understand it in depth so I can then sort of make it my own. But I need to understand it in order to live it. And you probably, the ones here, can probably relate to that, right? Let me see. Oh, Xenia, now I see your messages as well. I didn't see it. Yeah, you pronounced my name correctly. Yes, it does. Is your member of your team an MG? Good question, Xenia, sorry. No, she's not an MG. She is a manifester, but I have worked with MGs as well, and that works as well. But a manifester works as well. As a team member, I would highly recommend a manifester. And as a coach, because the coaches I always have are the MGs, because yeah, that works very well as a coach. But for team member, I would highly recommend a manifester. Okay. And once you work with me in, for example, my larger portals, you also get to experience to work with my manifester team member. She actually will work with you as well to show you how you can work in responsive manner. And you are an MG52 emotional. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Okay. I think we covered this topic. At least I hope. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, then I got another question, which was around inspiration and signs and feeling overwhelmed when you get a lot of inspiration and signs. How many of you can relate to that you get a lot of inspirations and signs and you feel overwhelmed? For me, like, what can I say around this? Whenever I feel overwhelmed and when I feel like I'm seeing too much and it doesn't feel like, I'll point to my belly. Like, you have your belly here and you have your heart here and then you have your mind, right? And for me, as an emotional authority, it's very important for me that I can feel it. Okay. So when when the emotion is lower in my belly, then I can feel it and I'm like, okay, this is the right thing for me. I need to feel the excitement. So a lot of the times I will use sound to hear if it excites me. So if I'm like thinking about, okay, like, do I want to give a webinar to a group of amazing MG sisters? I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds exciting, right? Do I want to give a course where I'm just going to teach things in a very static way? Does that excite me? I'm like, oh hell no, that sounds horrible, right? So I ask myself these questions and I tune in to feel what resonates with me and what doesn't. So another tip you can use when you feel overwhelmed, for example, a lot of my clients find it very difficult to decide on their prices for their courses. So one thing I do is that I actually write down several options and then I leave it for a couple of hours or sometimes even 24 hours. And then I get back to it. Okay. So this is also something you can actually use when you are selling to manifesting generators or generators because they are responsive as well. So what is very difficult for us is when somebody asks us a open question. Do you want to work with me? Yeah, I kind of want to work with you, but then I have my mind coming up with all these stories. But when you give them multiple choices, it changes the game. So how, like, imagine working with me for 6 weeks and completely changing your life and your business and stepping into the full power of your MG. Or B, you continue on a journey where you're currently at and you sort of keep struggling and you do it on your own and you get there eventually, but you'll do it on your own. So if you have those two options, now you can use your responsive strategy to tune in and feel like, hey, what resonates with me? What actually resonates with me? And then you know your answer, right? Because you can feel it in your gut right away. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? And did you feel the difference in emotions once I gave you those two options? So you can use this in your own selling, but you can also use this in your own process when you want to decide on a topic for your own webinar, or when you want to decide on your prices, or when you want to create a portal for your beautiful souls. Okay, beautiful. You do it in the same way. I love that, Xenia. What kind of business do you have? A business? I'm very curious. And what kind of business do you have? I'm curious. I like to learn things about my MG sisters. Maybe you have an Instagram that I can follow. I would love to do that. Okay, anyways, she was saying she was feeling overwhelmed when she felt all those signs. Whenever I feel overwhelmed, I do one thing, and that's I'm going into a how do you say that in English? Yeah, it's almost like a timeout. I do a 24 to 48 hour timeout where I go completely offline. So I take out my WhatsApp. I take, like, if you have an iPhone, you can very easily do that. You can sort of block all those features. So I block Instagram, I block my email, I block WhatsApp. And then I just have a beautiful, almost like dead iPhone. And I'm telling you, if you have never done this before, try it. Because once you do that, you will feel the peace in your body right away. It's so interesting how energetically connected we are through our iPhone or Android phone or whatever you have without even engaging in it. It's like having that line open makes us also, especially if you have an open head, very engaged all the time. So once I start feeling overwhelmed, I will do the reset. Reset is the right word. I will tune out all those apps for 24 hours until 48 hours. I always sort of feel what I need at that moment. And I'm telling you, those 48 hours are the most amazing hours of my life. I get so many downloads whenever I do that. And especially with the full moon coming up, the upcoming days, I will definitely start doing that. So I can really start receiving my own downloads again, because it's very important with, is anybody in open head center here? It's very important with an open head center that you filter out what is yours and what is from the other person. And then yeah, that really helps me to get clarity again. So whenever I feel overwhelmed, it's just a sign that I need to retrieve and get back into my own energy. So I hope this is a tip that helps you. It helps me a lot in my business, because especially as entrepreneurs, we get so overflooded with emails and with Instagram messages, and that person is doing this and that person is doing that, and where you get so bombarded with messages that we're not yet there where we want to be, or that we need to fix something about ourselves. And it's very important that we as MGs train our energy, and that's absolutely something I will help you with in my 6 weeks program as well. Xenia, yes, I'm an empowered leadership coach, and in the moment I'm making transformation in my area of coaching with whom I want to work and what is my area of expertise. Oh, I love that. I went through that transition last year, and now I'm really focusing on my MG sisters. And yeah, if you have an Instagram, please feel free with me to share, because I love to follow you. But oh yeah, exciting for you. Very exciting. It's so, like, my biggest tip for you, Xenia, is to really maybe take a time out for 24 or 48 hours and really tune in and feel like, okay, like, make it so specific. Who really, really lights me up? And when I made that transition in my business, I really looked back at all the women I worked with for the last couple of years. And with a few exceptions, the women that I had the most fun working with, like 95% of the time, they were manifesting generators. I'm not saying that the other profiles are not amazing, and I have worked with some amazing generators and projectors, but if I take a look at the bigger picture and overall, I came to the conclusion that I really, really love working with MG sisters, because they are very fast like me, right? So when I work with MGs, we can like move mountains in such short amount of times. I did this one portal with a woman, and she never hosted an event. She never did anything like that. And within 6 weeks, she hosted her first event and sold it out completely without any Facebook ads or any of that. So that's why I get so excited about MGs, because we can move mountains in such short amount of times. And I need that, like, that excites me. And when I get excited, my clients get excited. So that's really how I work. So, okay, let's continue. Oh yeah, this is a very interesting question. Sarah asked this question, and she says, is it normal that when the neutral zone of the wave comes, I don't feel a lot? And then somebody else says, yes, I feel empty then. And then Sarah says, I kind of feel like nothing excites me. This is something I can totally relate to. I wrote a book actually a couple of years ago, a channeled book. It's a conversation between me and my source energy. And I actually presented that question to my source energy, and I asked her, like, I have this feeling that I have had all my life where I can feel so emotionally drained and like so bored. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like nothing in the world excites me. So there are two things to say about this. Whenever I find myself in that place where nothing excites me, it means I'm saying yes to too many conditioned things, and I'm saying no too little. Okay. So let me check what Xenia says. Thank you for this. I love that to MGs, and I believe as MG that we can have many areas of expertise and not only one niche. Thank you. I will do that in deciding and discovering who lights me up to work with. Yes, amazing. And make sure you like have all those open, like be open to everything, because I have my coaching business, but then I also have my branding agency, right? So we can have multiple passions and multiple businesses at the same time, and just always embrace that. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. But what I wanted to say about that neutral zone, or when I feel bored, it actually means that I'm saying yes to too many conditioned things. every time I get to that feeling, I'm like, okay, where am I doing things that are actually not a hell yes to me? And then I have to become honest. And that's where I really shifted to the MGs, because I came to the conclusions that I was working with a lot of women who were just not lighting me up. And that's a problem if you're running a business, because if the people you are working with are not lighting you up, you get drained in your energy, and then you got nothing to give, not to your clients, but not to yourself. And we need our own oxygen. Our business needs to thrive in order to help our beautiful sisters, right? So it's so important that we honor our hell yeses, and that even though if our mind finds it very difficult and we're conditioned a different way, that we still honor it. And it can feel super scary sometimes, because for me, it felt like, I had this question like, am I throwing out the child with the bathwater, right? Am I doing something which is like, I have other clients than MGs, and by saying no, am I like destroying my business? I have to say one thing about that. I am not rigid in the MG thing, right? So I target MGs and I message MGs, but whenever the universe sends me a beautiful projector, for example, and we have this beautiful connection like I currently have with one of my projector sisters, absolutely, I will work with them, because I do honor whatever God sends me. But the main message, the main targeting is on MGs. So I really want to give you that as well. Another thing I want to say about like feeling empty or nothing excites me is the term addiction, okay? Because we are, as humans, very addictive to feeling bad. This sounds very stupid, but it is. So we literally, our system, our body literally creates certain types of hormones to keep us in this sort of addictive state. It's just like when you're addicted to drugs or alcohol. Once you like, you'll be fine a day without alcohol, and then it becomes 5 o'clock, and then you're like, oh my God, I really need a drink. Okay. So this is how it works with our emotions as well. We have this, we get in this creative modus, and we're like, okay, we're going for it. Amazing. And then something happens. We go on Instagram, and then that condition story comes in again. And our body is like, yes, I like this feeling, because now we can feel bad again. And now I can keep Sophie in her small spot again. That's how emotions work. So this is definitely something that we're going to look into in the 6 weeks course as well. How to really get out of the addictive pattern of keeping ourselves small, because we do have a tendency to keep ourselves small, and we want to step out of that. Okay. Then I have a question of an MG who feels frustrated about the amount of time that she has to spend on things that don't excite her, like marketing. Like I said, if you are at the beginning of your business, my advice would be just don't do anything that doesn't excite you, because if you do it from a place of a low energy, it won't give you the results that you want. So just fuck all the rules, excuse my language, but fuck all the rules. Forget about every conditioning thing you learned about marketing. If you follow your bliss, even though it doesn't make any sense, you will get there. So in my first year of starting my business, I hosted an event, and that didn't make any sense because like few people knew me. I didn't have a large email list yet. I wasn't familiar. I wasn't running Facebook ads on my event. And I decided to do the event for 150. A ticket was 150. And then a VIP ticket, then you could have dinner with me as well, was 250, I believe. And if I looked around in my, like what my other entrepreneurs were doing, they were all doing these events for like 20, 30 euros. And everybody was like, oh my God, you're charging 150. Are you sure? I'm like, yes, this is what my God is telling me. And I sold it out within 3 months. Like within 2 months, it was completely sold out. And we even sold more tickets than we have. Okay. So it's so important for you to really screw what everybody else is thinking, because it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It needs to light you up. Then at the event, I also shared that I was going to host a mastermind. Before that, I only sold courses around 500 euros. But I was like, okay, this is not really getting me anywhere because, okay, it's very nice to sell a course for 500 people for 500 euros. But I mean, I'm not the kind of girl that does large groups of people. Like I don't do 2, 3, 4, 500 people in a course. I just like my course is private, like 10 people, sort of most of the time, max. And then I'm like, that's 5,000 euros. That's not going to get me to whatever dreams I have. So I was like, okay, I need to charge way more. And I'm like, okay, if I'm going to charge more, I might as do it big, right? If I'm going to do the uncomfortable very good. So I wasn't going to go up with 100 euros because that doesn't make any sense. I was like, okay, let's go up real bad. So I decided to do a mastermind for 9,000 euros. And I just sit down and was like, okay, if I decide my own rules and if I screw what everybody else is thinking, how would this mastermind look? And I would be like, okay, I would do one live a month with this group of women. I would do a complete day with dinner. So I could really like connect with them at the end of the day because I love connecting with my sisters who I work with. And within that month, they have one group call with me and that's it. And on those days, I'm going to give them my best and I'm going to like charge them with my superpower energy and I'm going to make them fly. I sold out that event or that mastermind. Like the day at the event, I already had like, I believe 5 signups and then the week after 2 or 3 more. And then we were fully booked. Okay. And the only reason why that worked is because it made sense to me, because I wasn't following anybody else's rules. If I would have like implemented rules from other people, it wouldn't have flowed. So the next time I went up to 14,000 and I did the same thing. And looking back at my business, I have to put my charger in because I'm gonna fall out otherwise. When I look back at my business, whenever something I launched wasn't selling, it's because I was not honoring my own rules every single time. Every single time. So honoring your own rules as an MG is the most important advice that I want to give you. So really be careful as well with who you follow on social and when you follow them. So the way I use social media, I do have social media and I do go to that, but I only do it when my responsive strategy. So when I'm like, I try to be offline. And then when I get the inspiration and the download and God is telling me, okay, check this person out or go and check Instagram if you can find something about this. Then I go on Instagram intentionally looking for that one thing that I got the download for. But I don't scroll on Instagram. Okay, I gotta admit, I do it sometimes, but I try not to do it because it will literally get me out of my energy. Okay. Xenia says, thank you for this. Fuck all the rules that are not aligned with me. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Yes, please honor that, girlfriend, because it will help you in such an amazing way. Okay. Okay, then somebody says something about forcing yourself to work on a computer. Please don't do that. We are not meant to that. I do not have a regular 9 to 5 office day. I have a beautiful daughter who is 15 months, who's with me all the time. Only on Tuesdays, I have my mom babysit her at home, but otherwise I always have her with me. So I really created my life and my business on my terms. So she sleeps with me on top of me still. So I actually work whenever she's asleep. Right now, my husband is babysitting for like an hour on her, but otherwise I have her with me. So the way I work with my clients a lot of the times is through Voxer. And that allows me to really tune into their energy. We send audio memos to each other. Then they send me an audio. I have the time to let it integrate. Then I use my responsive strategy. And then I get back to them on my time and they can listen to it on their time. So I really want to encourage all my MG sisters who are now watching and listening to create offerings, again, according to your own rules. And sometimes we need examples of how we can do that. So that's why I really want to encourage you to work with me, because I can give you all those examples and I can help you understand how you can do that as an MG. I can give you so many options, but do whatever feels good for you. Okay. So whenever it feels good for you, your clients are going to love you because you're going to give the best, right? So I don't do Zoom calls with my one-on-one clients, but they book amazing results because we do it in a way that feels so aligned to me and so aligned to them. So really, really understand that don't force yourself to do anything you don't want to do because it doesn't make any sense. Okay. I want to say that. Okay. Somebody asked something about if I ever gonna do these Q&A sessions live, that when we gather in all on one location. So this is only interesting for the Dutch attendees. Senja, I don't know from which country you are. Maybe I'm not sure if you're Dutch. I don't think you are, but maybe you are. I am gonna host MG lunches very soon, but the information is a little bit top secret at this moment. But absolutely stay tuned and keep looking at my Instagram or email for those updates. Slovenia. Okay, thank you, Xenia. Let me see. And then I also have a question that asks, Els asked me the question. She's present here as well. She already signed up for the 6 weeks course that starts this Tuesday. And she asked if on the lives are we able to see each other and engage to each other. Yes, I will have you when in the 6 weeks portal, we'll do a way that I can actually engage with you. Yes. Let me see. What's the max amount of people engaged in my calls for the 6 weeks portal? Like I explained in the webinar as well, I really let God decide that. I try to be as unattached as possible to the outcome. I just show up and I trust that God has my back, or the universe has your back, however you want to call it. And the people that sign up. And if it's 3, we currently have 3 beautiful soul sisters who signed up, then it's 3. And if it's going to be 6, 10, I think it's going to be around 10, then that's beautiful. But I try to be as unattached as possible. And that's a beautiful way to run your business, because when you're unattached, then so many things opened up, right? I can be very attached to having, okay, I have to have 10 or 15 people in this course to make it successful. No, that's not up to me. I just do me. I show up. I do whatever God tells me to do, and I trust the number of people He sends to me. And a lot of the times when I have fewer signups for my live course, I might get more people signing up for my one-on-one portals, right? So I just trust. I trust, and I am unattached. So that's another tip I really want to present to you. Try to be as unattached to the outcome as possible. That will serve you in the highest way. And that's very interesting as well, because for this live Q&A, I have another webinar this Monday, and I have a lot of signups for that. But for this live Q&A, I had 1 sign up this morning, and I could have been like, okay, well, I'm not going to do a live for 1 person, but I was like, no. God sent me that 1 person. I'm going to show up. And then once I decided that, I got this inspiration to send out this email and post it on Instagram. And then I got another 7 people sign up for the Q&A, right? So we really need to let go of those numbers and understand that it's not about the numbers. It's about the people who represent those numbers. I have the possibility right now to speak to a beautiful group of women, and every person that I can touch is a person, right? And of course, I can use this for my podcast, or I can send it out to my email list, this beautiful Q&A. But right now, in this moment, I am serving you beautiful women who are now watching, which is Els and Lisette and Caroline and Angela and Xenia. So I'm talking to you, right? And I want you to embrace that role as well, that you stop focusing on the numbers. Every like you get on Instagram is a like. And if it's 1 versus 10,000, who cares? You touch that 1 person's heart, and that's the most important thing. Okay. So, okay. I think I came to the end. It's 11:11, so that's a beautiful number, and it's so interesting because I kept seeing 11:11 the last couple of weeks, and I was like, "What is God trying to show me here?" So I I have these specific words I use to look up the numbers. depending on the situation. And this time I had the specific words to show it, to Google it. And then it showed right away. It's like waking people up. Tell them to wake up and get out of their comfort zone. Like really stepping into that Messiah role and saying, you are here to change the world, change your habits, change your thoughts, and go and do something out of your comfort zone. So it was so interesting to me that that came out of it, and that now we actually finish at 11:11. So what I want to tell you guys is, last week Friday I did the webinar, and I gave those beautiful women the opportunity to sign up for the course with a discount from 4,000, a discount of €1,000. I'm sorry, because the regular price is 3,333, and they had the opportunity to sign up for 2,222 or 2 payments of 1,111. And I want to give that same opportunity to the women who are actually now currently listening to this live present. Okay, so I want to give you that opportunity. And if you feel the call, if you feel the connection with me, then please trust that this 6 weeks program is really going to serve you on such a high level. I just know it in my heart. You have been brought to me for a reason. And if I resonate with you, if whatever I'm sharing is resonating with you, trust that you will get exactly what you need during this 6 weeks program. Okay, so I will give you the women, like Els already signed up, and Angela is already a client of mine, but for Xenia and Caroline and Lisette, if you're contemplating it, please honor your hell yes. And I will send you the link. Of course, I don't have that present because I'm not so, like last week I had my team member help me do that. Let me see. Can you see the link that I just sent? I hope you can. Let me know in the chat. But I will also send it in the email as well. But you can go there, and until midnight tonight, you can book it for that price. But after that, it goes back to the 3,333, because I really want you, I really want you to honor your hell yes, and I want to give you the gift of being able to enter for that price, but only for the women who are here today live. Okay. If there are any more questions, please let me know, and please tell me if you don't have any questions. Just say thank you or something, that I know that you're done. Yes, so it expires tonight at midnight. And one of my tips that I will give you is, if you are still feeling the hell yes, then just like go and do your thing for an hour and just really don't think about the course. Just like be like, okay, I'm not going to think about it. Set your timer and then feel in an hour, am I still excited about Soph's energy? That's actually the only question that you need to answer. If my energy excites you, because if my energy excites you, you will get exactly what you need from this 6 weeks course. Okay. The date of the live calls are on Tuesdays at 11:30, I believe. I'm not sure. 11:30, I think. Yeah, 11:30. 11:30s on the Tuesdays. We start this Tuesday, and you will get the replays within 24 hours if you cannot make it live. Okay. I love you guys. I thank you so much for your 10:30. Nay, 11:30, else 11:30. Don't, like I said, I'm an MG. I'm not good in details. That's where I have my team members for. No, the time that I send it in the email, that's the time. It's 11:30, I believe. Okay, loves. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your energy. And I hope to see you in the 6 weeks course. And whatever you decide, I love you and have an amazing MG journey. See you soon. Bye-bye.